create anchor points throughout one document. This let us link to the different parts on one page. So you think of a scientific paper back in the day, they'd make a page for it, be a really long article, and you'd have a table of contents, and you could click on the different section you wanted, and it would just bring you there. So we were creating anchors throughout the whole site, and you could quickly access all those different places. The anchor tag is stuck around, even though the usage of it is a little bit different now, and actually the original way it used to work, it's not even supported anymore. So let's say I've put in my A tag here, but unlike all these other tags that we've looked at so far, an A tag by itself won't really do anything. You know, like here I have my P, close P, so I'm telling it that this is a paragraph. Or I have my strong, close strong, I'm telling it that that area is bold or has emphasis on it for my italic text. But an A tag all on its own, where do we want to link to? So we have to learn a little bit of new vocabulary for dealing with links, and that word is attribute. We're going to see some other attributes as we go on, but for links, the most important one, and the only one we really need, is the href. So this link's not going anywhere, it's not really showing on my page, but I have to give it an href. So I'm going to do href is equal to. And you can see my code editor has actually changed the color of that. Let's just take this out so we can see it all on one line actually. Don't like that. I'm just going to delete all of this actually. Let's start my link there so it's right at the top and easier for you to see, and we don't need all these other things in here anymore. So let's save my file. So we have my link right up here, and my href is where is it going to? This stands for hypertext reference. So whenever I write an attribute, I'm sticking inside my normal, I'm inside the opening tag, I'm putting a space, and then I'm writing it. And you can actually see most code editors will do this, where they'll try and help you out. What are we doing? So the second I put a space, it's going to go and look for all the different attributes that I could actually put on this, and I want my href. Following the href is the equal sign. So my hypertext reference is equal to, and then in quotation marks, I'm going to put where I want this to go to. So for this demo, let's make it http www.google.com. And now this link, let's save that, let's refresh over here, and I can see there we go, I have a nice link. It's made it blue, it's underlined it all by default. Now you'll notice that I put http:// here. No one actually writes this when they're going to a website anymore. You know, if you're old enough to remember, you might have actually had to written this in the browser in the really old days. These days everything is HTTP, so we never even write it. Most browsers won't even show that. We just see this part of it. But it's really important that we include the http:// when we're making a link to a web page that's somewhere else. So let's just see. I'm going to click here and we'll see that I load up and there's Google. Awesome. So I'm going to go back and let's just take that HTTP out and show you what it does. I'm going to save and I'm going to refresh and I'm going to click on this and the file's not found. And if you come up and look in the address here, it's looking for it on my desktop in my first website folder that I created, and then it's looking for a file called www.google.com inside of there, and obviously that doesn't exist. Without the HTTP, it thinks it should be looking inside that site. So I'm going to undo, bring back my HTTP, save that, let's go back, refresh, and try again, and now we can see it's actually working. Awesome. And what this is called is an absolute link. The path here is absolute. It's the exact address for google.com. By including the http:// we're telling the browser this is exactly where it needs to go. This is the exact address. It's the absolute path. If I want to link to another page on my site though, then we can use something called a relative link or a relative path. So let's make a new file and I'm going to copy this. So let's just go copy. Make a new file, paste all that in there, but all the way up at the top, I'm going to change this to say page 2. You also notice that everything's in gray right now. So if you remember back to the second video in this series when I made our first page, and let's just change our title here too, actually, it's not my first web page, this is page 2. You'll remember that when I did that one, we had to save our document and tell the browser it's an HTML file. Right now, my code editor, even though I have all this stuff up here, my code editor doesn't know this should be an HTML file. It's only going to know that once I go and I do my save. And let's just call this one page2.html and hit save. Now my code editor knows it's an HTML file, so all the color coding comes back in here. Also, most code editors are going to use a tab system. So you can see up here I have my tabs. I'm going to click back on my indexed tab. And let's add a new link down right here. So A. And let's just make this page 2. Whoops, sorry about that. Page 2. Close A. And then I'll come back into the opening. href is equal to. And in this case, I don't need an absolute path. I don't have my HTTP. I don't need to include all that. I'm inside of my folder already. So my index file is living in one place. Let's go take a look. Here we go. My index file is here, and I just want to switch from here over